Welcome back to the 5h3rlock 1v1 tournament. This is game 3 of 3 for Sherlock versus Billegend. We've had an amazing series so far. Billegend taking the first one in style with only like 3 minutes on the clock, while Sherlock beating out Billegend's Aurelia in the second game using Garen and taking that second game after a long time. Actually, it took a while for him to just break through Billegend's constant regen. And now we're on to a completely different game. Both of them taking very, very different champions. Billegend deciding to go with Wukong for this game, while Sherlock taking Kha'Zix. Actually talking about how they've changed it up a little bit just to a bit of banter. Kha'Zix is a champion I've personally never played, so little bit of a mistype there, maybe. Ending up, or was that actually just I couldn't tell you if that was actually put in all chat or not, or did it actually just show us their messages to people outside of the thing. I'm pretty sure that was just a mistype, accidentally putting slash. Both this exact same way again. And of course, FPS lagging again. So we have to do something about this, otherwise this is actually not worth casting. If that actually improves things a little bit. Just while we're waiting for this to come back, it could actually technically end here. They're both taking chunks out of each other, as far as I can see from the last thing I'm after seeing. Hopefully this will come back soon. We're back in the game. Still not exactly the best FPS, but we can see they're initiating in on top of each other. Just a little bit, both of them on mana champions, which is probably a first for this series. I haven't seen too many mana versus mana games myself. Wukong going with that. Okay, this is shit. I cannot tell what's wrong with my computer at the moment. I'm down at 8 FPS, which is not exactly ideal for watching a game, and dropping lower every time. The graphics gets a little bit too intense. Usually getting a steady 60 out of this, but regardless, both again using offensive like the summoner spells, offensive beam, flash ignite, whereas and we're down to 5, and it seems to be working fine again. Okay, and now they're fighting it out. Billegend flashing away after putting that ignite down on Sherlock, realizing that he was in imminent danger of dying. Sherlock had actually run out of mana at that stage, so whether or not he could have taken him there is debatable. Both of them fairly similar sort of attack damage, but Kha'Zix will probably have just managed to edge that out maybe just a little bit. Wukong's gone back now, and Billegend just picking up himself a long sword, going with the more offensive route this time, picking up a few more health pots, and having that red pot from the start. Sherlock has managed to burn through all of his items. Not entirely sure what he exactly had at the start, but seems to be mainly pots. Using that red pot finally, actually, to survive there. Actually, both of them used their red pots, and Billegend picked up another one there just before leaving to get his items. The Kazakh's picking up a longsword and cloth armor and 5 pots, going with a more rounded build more than anything else. Billegend deciding to get another red pot just to be able to stay a little bit more healthy, while Sherlock looking towards maybe a phage. No. I'm not entirely sure what he's working towards, but Billegend just taking down that cannon minion worth an awful lot of gold. And it appears like it's not going to just end very quickly again. Both of them waiting for their ultimates to come up more than anything else at this stage. All of them have their abilities, and Sherlock actually has his ultimate now, which could be very pivotal, but Billegend just gets his ultimate now as well. Didn't take the opportunity to jump in on top of that Wukong, realizing that that minion wave was just a little bit too much, and that the blue caster minions would just start pecking down his health. Should he have initiated in on top of Billegend, and they're going at each other again. Billegend is using his Q to whack down on top of Kazakh's head before backing off. Just on the champions themselves, Billegend's ultimate is actually very similar to Judgment on Garen, where he spins, except for this time he knocks him up, and now they're going in on top of each other, but Wukong's ability to just go invisible and leave his decoy behind, allowing him to escape that one after that initiation by Sherlock. Billegend's ultimate allows him to spin while also knocking up any enemies in the region, and they go at each other again. Billegend running in and using his ultimate. He's after using his dash in, and there goes the Q, and Sherlock's taken very low, the decoy use, and stands on top of it. Oh, incredible use of the decoy there. Just using it and staying there, making Sherlock think he had just not moved, and sticks around and dies. And that Billegend takes the series in an amazing game there. Confusing his opponent into thinking that the game was... wow, that was amazing. The red pot didn't even have to be used by Billegend, and Sherlock didn't have not have his red pot. He had already used it in the previous fight, where they both had to go back to their base and buy up. He could have flashed out of that maybe, but he decided against it more than anything else, just simply due to the fact that he thought that Billegend was still there, and he was just whacking away down on the decoy rather than actually on Billegend himself, who just stood underneath the decoy and confusing Sherlock into thinking that he was still there, and was able to just take him down with the final Q.